For a very long time, the honeybee has provided the world with pollination, food, and honey. Without the honeybee, many scientists believe that many plant species would not be able to pollinate. There are many theories on what would actually happen without bees, but one thing is for certain. The consequences of a bee die-off could be immense.
So bees are really important to the human beings for food production, if we wisely use them for pollination. Without bees, we wouldn't have the vegetables and the fruits that we see in the grocery stores. Squash, watermelons, strawberries, citrus, apples, blueberries, on and on and on and on. You wouldn't have it.
Ancient societies, including the Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans, have used honeybees for thousands of years. Today, it is estimated that in North America, around 30% of food humans consume is produced from bee-pollinated plant life. So it is no surprise that the value of pollination by bees is estimated around $16 billion in the United States alone.
This is lots of eggs and very young larvae, which means the queen should be nearby. But I'll let you look at this in a second. Let me flip it over. There's the queen. Boom.
The bees face a major problem in our fast-paced, growing world. We use them for pollination, but at an expense. Since its rising in 2006, colony collapse disorder has changed the way we humans see bees.
So colony collapse disorder is a strange wasting away of a population of bees in a honeybee colony we first discovered in around 2006.
Bruce spends most of his time researching the genetic makeup of honeybee colonies. He looks at a colony and sees how the genetic makeup affects their performance. His research is important in trying to understand how a bee colony works. An understanding of a colony may help solve colony collapse disorder.
That's what I was talking about. Do the string.
It wasn't work for European.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they may have something going on there. So at this point, we don't know what causes colony collapse disorder. We can identify it when we see it, a dead out colony afterwards. But what we think is happening now is it's probably the proverbial perfect storm of several things that all come together at one time. It probably is some combination of exposure to pesticides in agricultural systems, nutritional stress, stress related to just being involved in large-scale agricultural pollination activities, possibly some genetic compromise from breeding, and all that may have led to sort of we may have a couple of new pathogens that seem to be in play here, and all of that could have also led to sort of compromised immune system at the colony level. So if you have all of those things coming together at once, that may just be too much for a colony to recover from.
Evidence of why a colony would collapse points to commercial beekeeping and commercial pollination. For David, he has not had a problem with colony collapse disorder. He actually thinks he knows what the issue is and how to put an end to the bee die-off. Although, handling the problem is another story.
I am an organic beekeeper. I have yet to have a hive lost because of a disease. My own mistakes, yes. Robbing between the hives, yes. But a sick colony, no. It's to the point where your commercial beekeepers requeen every year, sometimes twice a year, just to keep their beehives alive. That tells me there's something out of balance.
Mona Chambers, a biological science technician at the USDA Bee Research Center, fills us in on the process of requeening. To control the stock, Mona takes out troubled queens, or queens that are not laying eggs, and puts in a new queen to ensure that the bee colony will not become Africanized.
So they naturally make these cells, and then they would care for them, and that's their way of ensuring that they have a queen later. So when we see this, we just squish it. You can see inside there's royal jelly, and there's a little larva in there. Queens are in here. These are actually all from Hawaii. So as soon as there's a queen out in the colony laying, she would come and try to kill all of these queens. So that's the main thing about having a queen bank.
Honeybees are responsible for billions and billions of dollars every year in agriculture crops that we rely on. So as a major part of food security, the health of honeybees is critical to that.
I think one thing we need to get away from is traveling with bees and pollination. And we need to actually, to support that, you need to get away from monoculture agriculture.
And so if we're having major die-offs that we can't explain, even if it goes away the next year, that doesn't mean it's not going to come back the following year. We need to spend a fair amount of effort trying to understand the ecology of what's going on with these bees and cropping systems and the pathogens and other microbiota that they interact with, to try to make sure we can manage large-scale sustainable food supply.
One of the greatest problems is we are using only one species of bees for global pollination. Having people be more aware of these issues will enable us of being more capable of caring for these creatures and understanding why they are important for us to keep around for future generations. Thank you.